When a dog has cancer, one of the things that can happen is the dog can feel nauseous. And that happens, I guess, not only as a result of some treatments, but just as a byproduct of having cancer. Is that right, Dr. Ettinger?
Yep, it can be. I mean, sometimes it's more direct as just a cancer in the abdominal cavity, pushing on some receptors, making a pet nauseous, or just some of the chemicals that are released from it. And then sometimes from the treatment itself, specifically chemotherapy.
Okay. And Dr. Dressler, when you see dogs that are nauseous with cancer, are there certain things you can do, natural things, to make a dog feel better?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about using full spectrum care, we need to contemplate, everything that we have at our disposal. And some of these dogs are quite nauseous. I'll just take 2 seconds to go over signs of nausea. Probably your number one sign of nausea in dogs is decreased appetite. Sometimes they'll go up to their food bowl and they'll sort of look at it, act interested, and then turn tail and walk away. It's a very strange thing because many times guardians will ask, well, he looks like he wants to eat, but he can't. But the strange thing is the brain pattern is there, and then when it's time to actually do the eating, well, there's very little interest, and they walk away from the food bowl. So there's other signs of nausea, too. Many times we can have lip smacking, which is kind of licking of the chops, so to speak. And obviously, vomiting would be an obvious sign of nausea. And I'll let Dr. Ettinger talk about some of the conventional approaches to dealing with nausea. It's something that does come up not only with the cancers as a consequence of these sort of reactive chemicals that get secreted into the bloodstream, many times due to dying tissue, dying cancer cells, or inflammation in the body that's connected with cancer, and also, as Dr. Sue was talking about, the pressure and whatnot. But
and
also
I think another quick one to add is drooling. A lot of dogs will drool at the smell of food. So the similar thing, they may walk up to their food and they'll just start to drool, and it could be that really stringy, gooey stuff just kind of coming out of their mouth. And that's a really common sign of nausea that I also see.
Yeah. So what are some things to be done about it?
I mean, there are definitely, from my standpoint, anytime I'm starting chemotherapy, interestingly, as opposed to people, most dogs do not need to be pre-medicated with nausea medications, but I will always send all of my guardians home with what I call just-in-case medications, and those will be some medications that have been shown to be very effective for nausea. A really common one that's approved for dogs now is called Cerenia. The nice thing about Cerenia, it's a once-a-day medication, and so usually I tell owners, if you're noticing that your dog is showing any of the symptoms that Demian just mentioned, go ahead and give a dose of Cerenia. If they start eating, normally you don't have to continue. It's not like an antibiotic, so you can really use it as needed and use it quite safely. There are a few chemotherapy drugs such as doxorubicin, which is also called adriamycin, which some recent studies have shown that just go ahead and using Cerenia for the 4 days after treatment has been shown to really decrease some of the GI side effects or the gastrointestinal side effects that we see with those. So your oncologist may recommend just going ahead and using the Cerenia with automatically after some drugs. Or if we start to learn that your dog gets sick from certain drugs, we'll go ahead and use the medications prophylactically, because in some instances it's easier to prevent nausea than to treat it after it gets started.
And then on the natural front, anything, Dr. Dressler, that you'd recommend to counteract nausea?
Yeah, there's a couple of different things. We talk about the addition of plain old ginger, which interestingly has some anti-nausea effects, and these are published. Everything that we talk about in the Dog Cancer Survival Guide has data. The full spectrum approach is always data driven. There's nothing that you're going to be reading that comes out of the Dog Cancer Survival Guide or the blog or the Dog Cancer Diet that's just sort of made up. It's all backed up by good science. So at any rate, ginger, which is one of the additions of the dog cancer diet, has some anti-nausea effects. It blocks a chemical signal called substance P, and also some other inflammatory mediators things that cause inflammation in the tummy. And it's a really nice, gentle way to help with nausea.
Great. Lots more information on the subject of nausea and what you can do about it if your dog has cancer. And lots of other information in the Dog Cancer Survival Guide. Dr. Ettinger in New York, Dr. Dressler in Hawaii. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.